Hey guys, it's Thaila, and today I am doing the Ibd Advocacy Tag. I was tagged by the Front Butt YouTuber. Go and check out her links in the description. So there's 5 questions and I basically am just going to answer them, and then I will tag, I don't know how many people you have to tag, but I'm going to tag some people to then carry on the Ibd Advocacy Tag, if that makes sense. So without further ado, here are my answers. Okay, question number 1 is, what form of IBD do you have? I have Crohn's disease. Crohn's disease can be anywhere, but mine seemed to stay in the colon, and I think there was a tiny bit in my small intestine, but it was mostly in the large intestine and towards the rectum. That they were like the worst places. So the first flare was in 2000, well, I've had a couple of mini flares, but the biggest one was 2010. 2009, 2010. And then I had surgery, ostomy surgery, and then for a long time I didn't have many active symptoms of my Crohn's, which I was very lucky to be able to manage it with medication. And then 2 years ago when I had my second surgery, my Crohn's flared up again. It's the fact that because that bit of colon that I had just kind of staying in there, not really connected to anything, actually when it was reconnected, it flared, the disease flared because it was having stuff go through it. So I had to go back on steroids, go back on a higher dose of my immunosuppressant just to calm that down. But that was the last flare I had. So it was scary because after the second surgery I was like, oh no, I'm gonna have to go through everything all over again. But thankfully was able to manage it pretty quickly. So touch wood. Yeah, that's kind of wood. No, it's plastic. Oh, wooden floor. Touch wood, I don't have to, I can hopefully manage it with medication. Second question is, why is IBD advocacy important? Well, I think it's important because inflammatory bowel disease, well, anything to do with your bowel or bladder or anything that's embarrassing, people are afraid to talk about. And as a result, people will, there's a very high risk that people will die from embarrassment by not going to a doctor because they're embarrassed to talk about the problems that they're having, or they're ignoring the symptoms hoping it'll go away, it'll be fine, which is what I did. I ignored my symptoms, I thought it'd be fine, I didn't want to go to a doctor, and then my colon perforated and I had to have ostomy surgery. So by being an IBD advocate and talking about it, it is to encourage people that it's not anything to be embarrassed about. Bowel movements happen to everyone, like everyone has to go to the toilet. It should be something that you can at least talk to a healthcare professional about. If not, family or friends or anything, then at least a healthcare professional. And generally just raising awareness to the public to say, this is what people go through. And to kind of put a face behind something that's such an invisible illness, because it is. It's like people don't realise the physical effects that it has, because it's not like a disability in the traditional sense of, someone's lost a leg or something like that, something physical. So it's really, it's to try and just open that dialogue and to say, look, this is what people are going through. If you're going through it, you're not alone, and there's so many resources out there to help you and support you, and to generally provide a network of, like, a community to say that, we're working together to raise awareness. We want to find a cure if possible, and there's a lot of charity work that's involved around that as well. So I think it's the biggest thing for me anyway is feeling that I'm not alone and that there's other people around and that there's support out there. I think that's important, and obviously raising awareness, because it's not easy to say that you have a chronic disease, especially something that's related to your bowel, but there's so many people out there that suffer. So it's not like it's not common at all. There's so many people I know that are going through the same thing, or similar at least. Describe a socially awkward moment with IBD. To be honest, it's more around the stoma side of things than it was the IBD. Well, I think one of the earliest moments that I didn't realise was related to IBD, but looking back totally was was when I passed out at, where was I? Oh, I was at a New Year's like night out with an ex-boyfriend, and I passed out. And he was like, what's just happened? Oh my God, what are we gonna do? The security came over and was like, have you taken anything? What have you taken? And I'd not taken anything. And there were a couple of times where I'd been passing out, and little did I know it was because I was very malnourished. I was losing blood, and just generally not a very well person. And this was before I had my diagnosis. So actually that was pre-diagnosis, but it was related to my Crohn's disease. Other than that, I think one of the earliest symptoms that I had was having to go to the toilet when I was nervous, which I think is a natural thing. With, you know, if you're nervous, your body kind of reacts like that. But this was like real bad. And I was meeting Chris's mum for the first time. And I think we were playing board games or something, and I was still so nervous. It was the first time I met her. I was so nervous, and my bowels were just like, blah, 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 blah. And I was going to the toilet so often, but I kept kind of saying, oh, it's the tea, it's making me need to go for a wee so much. It was not a wee. It was so bowel, because I was so nervous. And that was one of the physical reactions that I'd had to stress, or to you know, anxiety and stress. So I think that was probably one of my first memorable symptoms. I've never told her that. Oh, I don't think I've ever told Chris that either. So Chris, if you're watching, yeah, that's why. Other than that, stoma related. So I think there's only been a couple of times that I've had a leak in public, but I've been able to manage it without really anyone noticing. It's more the internal panic of, oh my God, what am I going to do? Whereas everyone else was oblivious. So actually, I've been quite lucky that I've not had too many embarrassing moments. Oh, actually saying that. Okay, so the first time Chris stayed over, oh no. Okay, the first time Chris stayed over, we were in bed. Oh God. And my stoma bag leaked onto his arm. Yeah, that was the sexy moment right there. Oh God, that was so embarrassing. He was fine. I was mortified, obviously. He was just like, whatever, and just washed it off. But I was just like, this is the worst time of my life. Like, I can't believe this has happened. Oh my God. Oh my God. He still agreed to marry me. Granted, you know, we've split up now, but that's not why. Oh, that was the only time that happened. That didn't happen again. The one and only time, which was such a crucial moment as well. First time him staying over. Fuck's sake. God. What is a common stigma you run into? I think it's the, well, I personally haven't experienced this, but I've heard of it a lot, and it's accessibility to toilets. This whole thing of, if you have IBD, sometimes you have to go to the toilet there and then, and the fact that if you have to use an accessible toilet, if you're not in a wheelchair, then it's like you're the worst person on the planet. How dare you use those facilities? Like, you must be shunned from society. And it's like, well, there are other disabilities, there are other conditions where I might not have a physical disability, but I still need to go and use the bathroom. I still need to use those facilities urgently. And I cannot wait to go to those, the regular toilets. It's very difficult because the public still don't quite get that. I think there's been a lot of campaigns out there to improve that. So I think training in public, you know, whether it's airports, train stations, shopping centres, just general awareness of what people are going through goes a long way. And it's so easy to do. It's so easy. If you're a business owner, it's so easy to just spend like half an hour with your staff to explain, look, this is the sort of thing that people might be experiencing. If this happens, if they come in saying, can I use your bathroom? Blah, blah, blah. Like, it's just such an easy conversation to have with your staff. So, yeah, there's a lot that needs to be done. There's a lot of work that still needs to be done, but a lot's improved, I think. But that is one of the big challenges, I think. It's something so simple. What do you want other people to know about IBD? That it sucks. Okay, so it does suck. The fact that it's not a visible illness, sometimes it's visible in the sense that you physically look terrible because you're feeling so ill. Otherwise, you know, you could be smiling, you could have a full face of makeup on. Like right now, I look okay, but I could be feeling terrible. Sometimes I look good, feel terrible. Sometimes I feel good, look terrible. So it just is weird. But I think it's just to point out that it can affect anyone at any age. It can completely change your life. So you could be the most active person, you could be going to work every day, and then all of a sudden a flare-up happens and you are just bedridden. Like, and if you know someone that has IBD and they're saying like, oh, I don't know if I can come out tonight, or oh, I'm gonna have to cancel plans, don't be angry at them. I'm pretty sure they want to come out with you, they just can't, because they don't have the energy, or they're in so much pain that they can't even think straight, they can't even get up out of bed, or they can't even eat because it's so painful. Yeah, there's so many things that IBD influences, even your energy levels, and even my hair falls out all the time when I brush it. It's not too bad now, but back in 2009, 2010, it was so bad. And my nails were all like brittle, my skin was dull. It's not perfect now, and I still get my really dark circles. Someone might seem okay, but then there's a likelihood that they're not feeling okay. And you have to respect that, and if someone confides in you about their condition, that's a big deal for them to open up, because it can feel embarrassing. So I think if someone you know has IBD, then all you can do is support them. Listen to them when they need to, just ramble on about it. If they want to cry on your shoulder, be there and let them cry on your shoulder. If they want to like be really angry and just rant, let them rant. If they just want to sit and watch a movie with you, just sit and watch a movie with them. Like, just be there. And just understand things from their perspective. I think that's just so important. Just having an idea of how it feels. To just feel like crap and know that this is something that there isn't a cure for. Like, it's horrible. So just be there. Okay, so I'm gonna tag, well, there's probably gonna be several people, but off the top of my head, I'm gonna tag Louise Hunt, and I'm gonna tag Hannah Witton. I think Eric's already done it. I'll put it in the description of all the people I'm going to tag. Or if you're not tagged but you want to do it anyway, just do it. Do it. Answer those questions. I'll put the questions in the description, and yeah, make a video, make a Facebook post, make an Instagram post, Instagram story, Snapchat, whatever. But tag me in it just so I know that like you've done it and I can see your answers as well. So, but anyway, I'm gonna go, and I hope you have an awesome day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.